Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols and I'm here to bring you your Nichols Worth. And my daughter was starting to look for some Bible accessories because she's gained an interest in journaling. So I started doing some research to figure out who had some of the best journaling options, and I came upon Mr. Pen. Now I had no idea that Mr. Pen had a plethora of Bible accessories, but they do. When you go to their website and type in Bible or journaling, you're going to find a whole wide array of different journaling and Bible options. So let's check it out really quickly. Here's some things that they sent me. Number one, these cute little mustache decals. I thought those were amazing. And then we have some like .01, sort of like a micron pen. And then we have some Bible journaling ballpoint pens. Then they sent some like your standard color gel highlighters. And then they sent a Bible study kit that includes the pastel colors with the pens and the highlighters. So my daughter has put them to work in her Bible, and as you can see, they also sent these beautiful Bible tabs. These are like a cardboard. They're very thick, so they're not going to break or bend. Now, one thing you do need to be careful is when you grab a hold of these, they can tend to rip your page, so use them very gently because they're that thick cardboard. But as you can see, she's used some of the highlighters and she's used the .01. These .01 pens were her favorite. She really liked those, and as you can see, when you use some of the pens that she used previously, that really bad bleed through. But now once we're using these .01 Mr. Pen pens, you can look and see there's virtually no bleed through on these. So it's really nice. Also, at first she kind of struggled with the highlighters. She didn't know how to retract them, and she wasn't real sure how it was going to hold up over time because it felt like it was going to smear. But as you can see, none of this smears at all. Looks great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate some of these on one of my own Bibles. This is my NRSV CE, and I'm just going to go to a random place in the Bible. We're going to go to Psalm 71, and we're going to test each of these items. And this is a Bible I've written in a lot, so I'm going to do some underlining. So I'm going to do a really hard underline here. Okay, and then when you do that, let's look in the back and check it out. That is pretty good. Absolutely zero bleed through on that. So now let's go to another type of pen. These are your Bible ballpoint pens. Now I'm going to use the darkest color because that tends to bleed through. And we're just going to do several examples here of several colors. And with ballpoint pens, sometimes it will take a second or two to get those going. That's why some people don't like to use them. But let's do red. Let's do purple. We'll just try several colors here. Go ahead and do green. Okay, and then I'm going to get like really intense with the purple. Let's like circle an entire section here. Let's do it really good and dark. And now let's flip it to the back and check that out. Now the ballpoint does tend to kind of press through, but I also press that pretty hard, so that's not something you would normally have to do. So the ballpoint pens, they passed the test. Now let's use these highlighters. Let's start with a blue because blue tends to do the most show through in my experience. Now the way you use these is you just retract them in and out. It is a little bit difficult, but they do rise up and down kind of like a crayon or something like that when you use those retractable crayons. So now let's do this. Let's see how it looks. Okay, I really like the way that goes on. Now you see it did kind of cake there, but you can take that off. So you may have to get used to them. You just go ahead and write on it. That one turned out pretty good. So now let's try another color and let's see if it does the same caking thing, because I think that'll be important for you to know whether it does or not, and that may be one that she hasn't used. The purple one does tend to cake a little bit. Let's try pink. Now this one is brand new. It's never been used. Okay, and that did really well. They do tend to cake though, so that's something you're going to have to keep in mind. This is just the way they work. And there are some people that absolutely love these. Okay, now the blues work really, really well. Those blues are excellent so far. The two different blue ones that I work, they're excellent. But the pink and the purple tend to cake. Let's try the yellow and see how it does. Okay, that one does really well too. So I like that one. And again, it does tend to cake up, but this is not your typical marker. This is a gel highlighter, so that is something you have to learn how to use. And it could very well be because I'm not very skilled in using them. Okay, now that is interesting because it's showing kind of an orange, but it's giving you more of a yellow. Now these are excellent. And you can see the gel kind of looks different on these. It's where this is more of a solid color and these are more clear. So I would definitely say I like these better than these because they don't tend to cake at all. Let me test some other colors and see if that continues to be the case. So let's go into a different spot here. And yeah, these are fantastic. These right here are great. These are the ones I would definitely highly recommend. I'll definitely make sure and highlight these, especially on the video description, because yeah, look at that, boom, 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 very easy. These are outstanding. And again, if you get it, just fleck it off real quick and don't. Let's try the yellow. All right, yeah, I really like these. These I highly recommend. Those I'm still on the fence on. I'm going to try it again just to see if it does the same thing, but it just tends to cake up. Yeah, see, these tend to cake up. So these, maybe they'll get better over time, but I've tried every color of these so far. Let's do the blue, and see, you can see it's got a little bit on it from where it's been used, so you might want to be careful with that. But yeah, look at that. This is smooth as silk. So these, highly recommended. Go ahead and finish out the colors. Purple, doing pretty good. Yeah. Overall, very satisfactory. Let's try this, yeah. So I'm going to call that pretty good. And again, with that little there, just kind of take it off with your finger. Seems to be fine. That's going to take some getting used to with the pressure and the different things that you have to utilize. So now what we're going to try is we're going to try these Pastel Bible study pens, and let's see how they work. They are very light. And of course, this is a very light color. So let's try a different color, but obviously that's not going to ghost or bleed through. And again, these may be for writing in the margins, you know, like Psalm 73. It's a little bit light. Let's try one more color. Do a little underlining. So they do work, but they are very light. So out of this package, I'm going to tell you what I recommend the most. Here's what I like the most. Okay, these I struggled with a little bit on the more solid colors, but on these little colors that have like the gel kind of clear, these are excellent. All right, these pens are a bit light for my taste, but they do work well. It's just that the colors are very light. They would probably work more on a Bible that has more of a creamy color or something like that and not so white. These are excellent, just as good as Microns. These work fantastic. None of them ghost, none of them bleed through. You can see the back of the gel. That is definitely not going to bleed through. I'm going to do one more test. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the page and I'm just going to wipe it to see if it bleeds through on the other side. And it does not. This is a pretty excellent product. Again, these I would probably be less apt to use, the solid highlighters. But the ones that have this, the clear, those are outstanding. I absolutely love those. The pens, great. These pens are a bit light, really cool on the mustache. Anyhow, if you're looking for accessories, Mr. Pen has a lot of stuff that's available for you, and I recommend you check them out. God bless you. Keep calm. Jesus on.